What's up, guys? So today I get this DC Multiverse Batman versus Azreal Batman armor, and I ended up getting this figure for $9.99 at my local Ross. This figure definitely is a great pickup considering it is a 2-pack, and I think these normally go for $40. So looking at the back of the box, you guys do see an image right here of Batman and Azreal, or however you say his name, and at the bottom you guys have the other figures in this collection. Not really too familiar with these figures right here besides Wonder Woman, Shazam, Dr. Fate, and a different version of Batman. Definitely going to be my first version of Azrael Batman. So we're going to go ahead and look at the accessories first and then the actual figure. Look at the card and the stand as well. So here we have a tray shot of Batman and Azrael right there. So here we have the background, which kind of sucks that you have to damage it in order to get these cards out, but I'm going to have to do it. So let's go ahead and get to that. So here we do have Batman's data file card. Pretty well detailed. These cards are pretty dope. On the back, you do have some information right there. Here we have Israel's card right there. Just says Batman armor, the curse of the White Knight. And on the back has some data file information. And I did nip it right here just a little bit. Kind of sucks, but whatever. So for this one, go ahead and look at these accessories first. We're going to specifically look at Batman's and then Israel's and then the effects or the flame effects right here. All right, so we do have this stand right here, this acrylic plastic, clear plastic stand. Definitely pretty nice, honestly. It does have a peg hole right here as well to put Batman. As far as I could tell, it has one right here, another one right there, another one right here. I think it only has 3. Okay, another one right there. So 4 peg holes in order to put Batman and Israel in that pose. Definitely pretty nice. Weighs pretty good. I'm sure you could use this on other figures as well. So the first accessory, do have Israel's sword. You guys can see that it is painted pretty nicely. You can see some detail here on the mold with the cross and a little person right there. Pretty well detailed, I think. And the plastic doesn't feel too flimsy. Feels pretty good. I like this for what it is. And then next we have Batman's sword, which I kind of like. It does come out a little warped already, as you guys can see, which I'll probably end up fixing that later with some hot water. Now, what I do think is cool that this little piece is not fully connected, so you are able to slide his hand there, and you can move it around, which is pretty cool. They're both completely identical. Then he has right here this back piece. It's okay. I mean, it's not really, I don't know much about this version of Batman, and it ends up sliding pretty decently sometimes if you just finesse it. It is a little tight, I think. Oh, okay. See, I didn't even notice that. You can see the outside of that. I think I placed it in wrong. So yeah, you guys can see that. I'm not sure if that's a really cheap way of doing it, but it would have been nice, I guess, if it was completely molded all the way around. But definitely a good accessory. Then you have this little rope right here, which I'm pretty sure you could use this on different versions of Batman. Now, Batman does have a little like clip thing where you guys can hook this onto his belt. So you can basically just put this in any other Batman hand. Definitely looks pretty good. You guys can see the bat symbol if it focuses along with the rope. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and look at the figures themselves. So here we have Batman. Now, I'm not really too familiar with the scene of that this is supposed to portray, but it looks pretty decent. I mean, for a standard Batman figure, not sure why he doesn't come with a cape. He probably just doesn't, because in this portrayal he probably doesn't have one. But you guys can see all that detail. You know, nothing too crazy. You guys can see his belt. He does have some pouches, a knife right there, which you guys can see the handle. And that's where you put the little rope right here on the clip. Overall, fairly decent. It would have been nice if this paint went all the way around. But you're supposed to put this back piece on there, which, like I said, we'll just put that in there. Pegs pretty firmly. Overall, pretty nice. Now, the only thing that's kind of weird, his eyes. Not sure if you guys can see that he kind of has like snake-like eyes. Not sure exactly what they were going with that. You guys can see that he does have some black dots right there with the white eyes. Looks kind of snake-like, looks kind of weird. Not sure exactly why they decided to do it like that, but I don't know. When it comes to the articulation of this figure, it's really not as great as you would think. He does have toe articulation, which is pretty dope. He does have double jointed elbows, but it doesn't go completely around. No thigh swivel, which kind of sucks. When it comes to his ab crunch, basically non-existent. Forward and decently back. Can rotate 360. and he kind of has butterfly joints. These are kind of like a little bit weird. I don't know. They are butterfly joints, but they don't move as good as I would want them to. But when it comes to elbow articulation, single jointed, and it does have those little notches right here, so it makes the little ticking sound. Not sure exactly why this Batman figure is like that. And his wrist goes forward and back, like, or up and down like that. Doesn't go inward, just goes up and down. Can't rotate 360. His head goes up slightly, goes down slightly. Can't rotate completely. Overall, pretty bad as far as articulation. The only good point of his knees is the way it, like, I'm not really sure how you would call this, but I do like the way the plastic ends up molding right here. Doesn't look all that crazy or excessive when he has his knees bent. Overall, great version of Batman. So next we do have one of the main figures right here in this line, is this armor version of Azreal, which I hope I'm saying his name right. If not, you know, it is what it is. Definitely a big hefty figure. It would have been nice if it had a cloth cape, but it has a lot of details, you guys can see. His ab crunch is basically non-existent as well. I'm gonna go straight to articulation first. Double jointed knees, but it doesn't go all the way, and it kind of it's very flimsy, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Somewhat thigh swivel, toe articulation. It goes forward and up on the ankle. Kind of goes around 360 right there. Single jointed elbows, which I'm not sure why a figure like this has single jointed elbows, especially the retail I think was like $40, so that kind of would suck. And he does have butterfly joints, but it is restricted because of this cape, which would have been nice if it was a cloth cape or at least removable. But yeah, he does have butterfly joints, but very hindered. When it comes to his arms, he could go, let's see, only this high because it's hindered by the shoulder piece, and he can't really rotate it all that much. So definitely kind of sucks. This figure is basically meant to be posed how it is on the box. But let's go ahead and look at the further details. You guys can see that the black and gold definitely is well placed right here. And like I said, I'm not sure where this figure comes from or the accuracy of it, but I just do like for what it is. You guys can see the head sculpt is really well detailed. It kind of looks like an Arkham Knight helmet. Pretty good. The Batman symbol right there, all in gold. Overall, the plastic is pretty nice. The shade of gold is slightly different throughout, but really not too noticeable. Have some silver right here on the fins or the gauntlet. But the only thing that kind of sucks, the finger is a little chipped. Not sure exactly why. Now, I'm not going to complain too much because I am biased with the price point of $9.99. But if I would have paid $40 retail, I've been pretty upset of little flaws like this. And he does come with the sword that I mentioned prior. He does go on his left hand pretty easily, in my opinion. There you go. Pretty decent, I think. Overall, a nice figure. This stand is actually really cool and well detailed. So you're able to see that Batman pegged pretty nice here, as well as Azreal. Now, the actual posability of this is pretty limited. You're kind of forced to keep the legs in a certain position, and then the arms you can adjust it slightly. Overall, it's really not that bad. I think you can make this a nice display, especially with that background diorama that comes in the box. You guys could probably place this behind it. But even for his arms, when it comes to the box art, it looks like his arms are all the way in the back, just like this, very excessive like. Because he doesn't have a lot of range of articulation, he tends to be limited on how you guys can actually display this version of Batman. I think if you guys are able to get this figure at Ross like I did, it's definitely worth it. The articulation is definitely lacking of, but this makes this thing is basically designed to be displayed in this manner, which I guess that's why the articulation is somewhat limited, but it's just so cool. I'm pretty sure you guys can use this stand and other figures, which I'll probably end up trying here in a little bit towards the end of the video. I'll try to play with this and add different figures just to see what I could come up with. But overall, it's really not that bad. This stand is actually really good. I think it's pretty worth it. Like I said, to get it really cheap for $9.99 is not bad at all. You guys are able to see all the accessories that he comes with. Definitely well detailed in my opinion in that alone. You could turn his head, do all this kind of posability. Definitely a great thing in my opinion. But anyways, you guys let me know, what would you rate this kind of display ability? And let me know down in the comment section below. Did you guys get this figure when it first released, or were you lucky enough to get it at Ross? Like I said, I ended up getting this one for $9.99 at my local Ross. I only found one. I would have got two, maybe to just keep it sealed or maybe resell it later, but I only found one. Haven't seen it again, so if you got lucky, definitely pick this up. The articulation isn't that great. Details of both figures are pretty decent. The accessories are pretty decent. Not really familiar with this comic book scene or wherever this came from, but for what it is, definitely give the overall 2-pack just a solid 7.5 out of 10. Really doesn't do much for me, but I do like how this looks. Good accessories, good display, base right here. Articulation pretty lacking of for both figures, but you guys let me know what do you think of this. When it comes to this look, I guess I'll give it a decent 7 out of 10. I don't really know much about this Batman, but you guys can see this and know what it is. Articulation wise, give it a 7 out of 10. And the accessories that this specific Batman comes with is definitely a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. It comes with 2 swords, a rope, and you know, that stand technically is considered accessories for him. But actually, I think I might change it. I think I might give it a 6.5 because it doesn't come with interchangeable hands. So I'll give it a decent 6.5 out of 10 when it comes to articulation and accessories. Just rather give it the same number because it's not really the best version of Batman, but pretty good for what it is. When it comes to details, looking it up for what this is, definitely an 8 out of 10 when it comes to the appearance and the iconic look of this character. When it comes to articulation, definitely a 6 out of 10. Not even a 6.5. And when it comes to the overall figure, I definitely give it a decent 6.5 out of 10. Not really my best version of a Batman character, but definitely let me know what do you think of this review video on this 2-pack of Batman Azreal armor, and I'll see you guys in the next one.